Hello, fire starters. So I have been out a little bit over a week now, and I didn't do any daily videos for that time, even though that was my intention for the 3 paths for June, right? And I'm not going to apologize for that because I was taking care of myself. I have to practice what I preach, right? And so I was actually out dealing with some migraines because we had been, and we're still getting them, but we had been getting storms back to back to back to back. And so I was just up and down with migraines. And I said, you know what? Let me stay in integrity with myself and let me just rest. I'll get back to the channel when I can. And every day I was like, oh man, I want to do a video today. And my body was like, and you're going to stay in this bed and chill out. And so I honored that, right? And I'm sharing that with you because I want you to know I'm not telling you anything that I don't do for myself. Anything that I'm sharing with y'all here on this channel, anything that I'm suggesting is because someone that I trust has shared it with me and shared their experiences with me. And even if it doesn't make sense for me, I may pass it on because it may help someone else, or it's something that I truly have done for myself, implemented in my life, practiced, experimented with, etc. And even if I no longer do it, I may still share it because it can still be of help and benefit, right? We are a community. That's what my intention is for this channel. I am building community. I am building a place where you can ask questions, where you can share, where you can join me in the journey of just being the most potent and powerful version of yourself, okay? So I hope that if you were missing the daily videos, you went back and listened to the replays of the previous videos and just took some extra time to work on your own ritual or intuitive nudges or steps. And what I'm going to do today, instead of doing a whole bunch of videos to catch up for one per day, I'm just going to do a longer video today so that I can talk to you about each path in a little bit more depth and share some of the thoughts that came up for me this past week as I was being still and nourishing myself and just paying attention to what my spirit needed. And even though I was resting, I honestly did find myself still kind of oscillating between fire, rose, and diamond. You know, there are different moments. Even though I was in the bed most of the time, I did get up and move to the sofa. You know, I would take my shower, get something to munch on, and lounge on the sofa for a little bit before I got back into bed. But I would still have those moments where I felt a nudge to maybe ramp up my protection a little bit more. That was something that I did intentionally while I was resting and relaxing, just checking my boundaries and making sure that everything was shored up and paying attention to spaces that needed a little TLC. I also made sure to check in with myself to see how I was feeling with, you know, the flow of things lately. When you have downtime, that's an opportunity to see when your emotion, what's working and what's not, right? Because sometimes when you're in it, it's just so much going on. You don't have time to really zone in on all the things. So that was a little bit of my fire path, burning things off, clearing things out. And then I also was just leaning in to see what was feeling good, what wasn't, what was nurturing and what wasn't, not only in business, but just in life general, right? One of the things, if you've been with me for any length of time, even before I started this channel, one of the things you've heard me share is that I'm consistently assessing my relationships, my friendships, my romance, my loved ones, my clients, everybody. I'm always just paying attention to see how I feel as I engage with people, so that if it doesn't feel good, I can speak up and say something, or if they address something with me, we can handle it and recognize if it's something that can be fixed or if that space has served its time. Because I often think we hold on to things and people way too long and it causes us more hurt than it should, right? And so that being said, that's kind of where I was this past week. Some of the things I was working on as like I said, just kind of oscillated and pivoted between the 3 paths, but allowed myself more than anything to focus on nurturing and taking downtime to just be listening to my body and what it was asking me for, which was a lot of rest and being still. I napped a lot. And let me tell you, I had a conversation with someone last week. We were both joking about the fact that we wish we had taken more naps when we were kids, man, because if this is what I was missing out on when I was fighting through them naps, I cheated myself. So anyway, let's go ahead and dive into today's video. So I'm going to start with the fire path. And what I want to talk to you about today is reclaiming your fire after a fog. Now, this could be you went through a health challenge, or like with me, with some downtime with migraines. It could be that you had a family emergency pop up, or a really crazy time at work or in business. It could be anything, but you're just feeling maybe kind of out of sorts, disconnected, and needing to recalibrate yourself. Now, I want you to ask yourself this question before I get too deep into it. Do you feel like you've just been going through the motions on auto repeat, right? Y'all know how you do when you get that favorite song and you be jamming to it. You listen to that bad boy 10, 12 times or more, right? It's the same thing in our life. We will oftentimes do something over and over and over again, and it becomes habit. And then we get stuck in it and it becomes truth for us. And then we think, well, this is just the way it should be done, or it's supposed to be done, or this is the way that I've always done it. And we feel like we're stuck. We can't change it. Well, you can always change it. I want to remind you about that, okay? So this is your permission, if you needed it, to remember the power that you hold within yourself. This week, I want you to focus on using your fire to burn off whatever no longer belongs. As I shared with you, I took last week to think through my relationships. I do that regularly. I'm not paranoid. I'm not eyeballing them like, where did you mess up today? Nothing like that. But it's just an awareness of me being able to check in with myself as I engage with people and spend time with people, so that I don't let things fester. And when it's time to let go, being able to give myself permission to let go. Okay? So where have you been either on auto repeat, and what do you need to let your fire burn off today? Fire can help you release what no longer serves you, what no longer nourishes you. Where have you been stuck in feeling urgency or guilt or self-doubt or panic or anxiousness? Use your inner fire, use your sacred rage to help you burn through and clear some of that stuff, so that you can think clearly, so that you can think strategically. Sometimes when we're stuck in that fog, it feels so overwhelming that we can't even get our thoughts together. And then later on, we're like, dog, I should have did this. I wish I had thought about that. Man, what about this and that and the other? Use your sacred rage today to help you get to that clarity now, okay? Now, if you're still not sure if this is your path today, this is for you. If you're feeling disconnected, you're feeling like you've been dimming yourself, you've been feeling small, you've been feeling unheard, you've been feeling dismissed or ignored, this is your path today. And that's what I want you to focus on all this next few days. Just this. Lean in and let the wisdom come up for yourself on how to let your fire burn and cleanse and reset and nourish you from the inside out. Now, fire can also burn too hot, so make sure that you're moving. Make sure that you're exercising, walking, going to the gym, stretching, moving your body. Put some music on and dance. Make sure that you're eating nourishing and cooling foods. Don't just sit in your fire energy and then get an upset stomach or feel nauseous and try to figure out what's going on. You're probably letting that rage burn a little too intense. You got to use it, but you also have to use it wisely and use it intentionally, while simultaneously making sure that you are balancing yourself, okay? And we'll talk more about that in coming videos, but start there. Now, if you are in the rose path today, let's talk to you guys. The rose path today is all about returning to your softness. Where are you feeling too hard, too bottled up, too brittle, too forceful, too assertive, too aggressive? Where are you feeling too something? Not because somebody else said it, but because that's how you're feeling. If that's you today, I want you to remember that not everything is going to heal because you pushed it and forced it. Some things need a soft, gentle touch, guys. Okay? Slow breathing. Being intentional about cultivating your space. Curating an easy ritual just focused on self-love, not doing all the intricate things. Taking a bubble bath and soaking a little bit longer, or taking your time in the shower and just putting some soft music on and dimming the lights and just letting the water shower over your head and relax your mind. Meditate for a moment. Laying on the sofa or the bed in silence. Tell your people, tell your family, tell your boo thing you need a moment of peace to yourself. And just being still. Remembering that gentleness is just as powerful as force. And they both serve their purpose. So what is it that you need to take a softer approach to today? What is it that you need to allow yourself to relax in? And forgive me because it is getting a little bit louder in my background as I'm out here on the walking path. But what is it that you need to allow to come in and take an easier approach? I really want you to sit with that today. Your nervous system is probably shot. That's how you know this path is for you today. You're feeling anxious or overwhelmed. You're feeling a lot of vibration going on, antsy, edgy, like you can't quite sit still. You might even be feeling a little dizzy today. Outside of any, explainable medical challenges or phenomena. That's how you know this is for you, because your body is literally saying, listen, I'm vibing too hot. I'm doing too much. I'm pushing too hard. I got to slow down. I need some ease. I need some peace. I need to slow down and be gentle. Okay? Softness is not weakness. Softness is not weakness. And nobody is meant to do all the things all the time, every time. Everybody needs rest. Everybody needs downtime. So I want you to just sit with that and ask yourself, where can you ask for help? Where can you allow other people to step in and help you? Where can you allow other people to step in and be a blessing to you today? Where can you allow other people to step in and pour into you and nurture you and help fill your cup? Or just take quiet time for yourself. Sit with that for a moment. I also want you to consider, what is it that you need to shift and pivot on today? So using myself as an example, I walk daily. I do 5-6 miles almost every single day. Sometimes more, sometimes a little less. But I know that for me, walking is a release. It helps me to calibrate. I love being outside in the open space. It's my space where I just feel peaceful and grounded and at ease, right? It brings me back to center very quickly, very easily. But last week, I did not walk. I knew that I needed to be gentle with my body. And even though I love walking and it is so nourishing to me, I knew that I didn't need to be, even though the migraine would ease up for a while, I knew that I didn't need to be out here trying to force myself to walk through it just so that I could keep my steps up or keep my miles up or keep my momentum up, right? I took it easy. So I didn't get out here the entire time. And even once I started feeling better, I gave myself a few more days just to let my body rebalance and recalibrate itself. So today is actually my first day out here in like 8 or 9 days, right? And so where do you need to shift or pivot what you're doing to nourish yourself? Because sometimes, even though this one thing may usually make sense, in this moment, in this season that you're in, it may call for something entirely different. You may need to go get some coloring books or take up a craft like knitting or playing cards, solitary, playing the mind games just to zone out and, get some giggles and laugh, playing the little fuzzy games with the little faces and all the characters that you have to move around and match colors and shapes and sizes or whatever. And it may sound stupid, but that's the point. Stop trying to do all the things that make you constantly work and just allow yourself to be chill. One of the things I love to do, if I am having a moment, or even if I've been at home chill all day, I love to binge watch my shows and catch up, right? But I love psych thrillers and action-packed stuff and, intense stuff that makes me think. So if I've been binge watching that all day to catch up on a season or something, you know what I'm going to make myself do before I go to bed? I'm going to put on a funny movie, some type of comedy, or one of my favorite shows right now is Nailed It. My Lord, have mercy, and all that is holy. Those are some of the ugliest cakes those people are making. But they are so confident when they're like, nailed it. And the joy that you see them having when they're baking and making mistakes and learning is just pure amazingness. You know what I'm saying? So I love watching that and just making sure that I relax myself and balance myself before I go to sleep. Do something different. Even if you're doing what you normally do and it's working, still do something different to make sure you're getting what you need, whatever that different is. Call on somebody different. Don't call your friend or your person that's going to make you work more and ask you 1,000 questions and try to get you to talk about how you're feeling and identify what you need. Call that person that'll say, it's okay. We'll just sit here in silence. Call that person that'll just come over in their PJs and lounge on the sofa with you and watch TV and eat popcorn and pizza or do whatever. Figure out what you need. And if you don't know what you need, it's okay to just tell your person, your people, I don't know what I need. I just need presence. Can we just be in silence? And if you don't have that, it's okay to start meditating to call that into your life. But for now, just do what you can for yourself. Okay? Because you are worthy of having what you need in order to heal, in order to thrive, and in order to be well. You are worthy of having what you need to nourish yourself and truly be able to enjoy the life that you have. And so your reminder today is that softness is not weakness. Softness, and remember that. Softness is power just as weakness is. Even in our weakened state, that means that we're open for spirit to do something. We're not fighting. It doesn't have to mean that we're giving up or that we're not working hard enough. It just means that we're leaning into a different part of our power to be open and available to receive. All right? And so last but not least, let's talk about the diamond path. Today, I want to remind you that your stillness is power. You don't have to keep pushing or explaining or proving yourself, your thoughts, your needs to anybody. You need to remember for yourself that your presence is enough. You being you is enough. And anybody that can't accept that is not worthy of being in your space. Now, let's be real, y'all. This don't mean that you get to be out here, be ass out mediocre. No. But if you know that you're showing up and you're doing a damn thing in the best way that you know how, you are worthy of being celebrated in that and honored in that and receiving help from yourself first, because you got to help yourself now, and receiving support from the people in your space and in your circle to shine bright and do the doggone thing. Okay? So this is for you if you've been feeling yourself constantly editing yourself. If you got to rewrite your text 20 times before you send it, or you got to think in your head for 3 days and 40 nights before you have a conversation. Sometimes you just got to say it and get it out. Sometimes you just have to speak your truth in the best way that you know how and trust the process. And again, that don't mean that you are here cussing folks out and being a nutbag. But it does mean that you get to speak your truth and honor your ways and your words and your needs. And trust that other people can receive it. You don't have to keep shrinking yourself or minimizing yourself. You don't have to keep making yourself a replica of someone else in order to be accepted. All right? You get to shimmer all by yourself. You don't have to keep dimming yourself or dumbing yourself down in order for other people to feel safe. In other words, stop performing. Stop feeling as though you've got to have all the right answers all the time. You've got to do all the things all the time. You've got to be everything and all the things all the time to everyone. Because what happens is you give, and then you give some more, and you are depleted. You're on E. You got nothing left but fumes in the gas tank for yourself. And those very same people that you were giving so heartfelt to often are not equipped and may not want to return that and reciprocate that for you. So that's a lesson in boundaries. And I'll do a separate video about that another time. But that's a lesson in boundaries. If you're noticing that, you got to work on your boundaries. That's first priority with self-care. Boundaries, okay? Boundaries. And even if they love you and they give to you in healthy ways, they just may not be equipped with what you need. That may not be their ministry in your life. So again, you've got to stop giving to the point of depletion and reserve for yourself. You need to pour into yourself, or water yourself first, tend to yourself first, and then you can turn around in your overflow, in your abundance, in your prosperity, give to other people. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't help other people when you're dealing with challenges in life. I mean, life is always presenting a challenge. That means you should not have $2 in your account and you trying to give $1.75 to somebody else. If you got 1,000, you should not be giving 995 to somebody else. You should be making sure that your bills are paid and then helping with what you can. If you are emotionally drained, you got to get quiet and take care of yourself first before you can be the listening ear for someone else. You get what I'm saying, guys? So today, as you navigate figuring out which path you're on, I want you to remember that it doesn't matter whether you're on the fire, rose, or diamond path. I want you to trust it. Trust yourself, trust your intuition, trust your wisdom as you guide yourself and pick one. And if you feel led to go through multiple paths, trust that too. You don't have to be all three all the time, but pick and choose what you need in order to nourish yourself, okay? Choose one for now, get started, and then lean into whatever guidance you feel led to follow to see what comes next. Let the ritual meet you where you are. So go ahead and pop down into the details of the video. Grab that link to the shop if you haven't already done so. And go download the PDF for the ritual to walk yourself through it. It's very simple. I did it that way intentionally. So whether you're a newbie or whether you're just looking for something to tweak your own processes or add to work that you're already doing, it's easy to follow. All right. When you get done, come back and hop in the comments and tell me what's coming up for you. I'd love to hear from you and see how your journey is going. And tell me what you want to hear me talk about next. Thank you guys for being a part of this channel, and make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. I love y'all. See you in the next video.